Well, welcome to the intro to security missions class. We're gonna be talking about just security missions starting from level one all the way up to level four. I'll also run some missions, so you can kind of see how it works. Um, you know, and where you can find them. How to fit your ship and all that kind of stuff, and um, you know, loads of cool stuff. So security missions, you probably already know that they're just shooting NPCs, and you can get bounty payouts from the ships that you kill, and you can get payouts from um, the security mission agent themselves. So, um, starting off on where to find them, well, there's a really cool button, of course. Most of you probably already know that. The agency button, and then you can go to the agents and missions tab, and then to mission agents, and then here's a really neat section with security agents. So we're gonna click on there. Now there's a whole kind of filter selection thing here that you can select. So for now we're just gonna set it to that. So these are all the mission agents that are there, or the career mission agents that are there, and you might not be able to do them because you don't have the standing yet, but it'll show you with the red marker. So if you just tick that off, then you can find all the stuff that you do have the standings for to run. And then you can kind of just pick one of these the level that you want. You can also just if you want to start off, you just pick a level 1. And as we can see, there's one over here, so you can just set desto, go there and run a mission. Now that's what we're gonna do. And level 1 missions, they're not super difficult. You can even probably run them in the starter ship that you get, the Corvette. But there's also a couple of nice, normal frigates, Tech 1 frigates that you can use for it, because you don't really need to use a whole lot of fancy stuff. So here we have a Tristan, which is a Galente drone frigate. It's a favorite of mine to start missions with a faction or a corporation, NPC corporation, because if you move around in New Eden, you often end up in a different portion of space, and you might not have standing to do level 4 missions there, so you have to grind your way up again. So if we look at this Tristan over here, it's its main bonus is on hybrid guns and drones. So we just fit some hybrid guns on them. Put a ton of drones in there, or at least a ton for a frigate. And you can already use it. It's got like 160 DPS, or at least with my skills that's more than enough to run a level 1 mission. Another really cool example is a Kestrel, which is the Caldari frigate, and it uses missiles, and it kind of does. This one does less, a lot less DPS, because the drones on the Tristan, they add a whole lot of DPS, and the Kestrel can't use them. But the Kestrel uses missiles. They've got pretty decent range, as you can see, and why I'm highlighting drone and missile platform ships is because they're really easy to use, in the sense of that you can choose the damage output that you do, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into that a little bit later. But each security mission you do, you could encounter like different types of enemies. So maybe you encounter Guristas, NPC enemies, or Sancha enemies, and they both have a different resist profile. So Sancha are weak against EM damage, like the missiles on this Kestrel. Guristas are weak against thermal and kinetic damage. So you kind of pick the ammo and or the drones to do the mission and get the job done. And in the earlier missions, it's not really that important because they're basically really kind of easy. So we're just gonna go ahead with this Tristan. We're gonna fly to the next system, quickly pick up a mission, run it, see how it goes, and give a couple of small pointers on when you first start off. There are a ton of different factions and corporations. If we while we're traveling, we can just have this window up. I mean, if we already see, there's you've got Empire factions that you can choose, and also even the pirate factions. We're sadly not going to be diving into those today, because those are most of the time they're either in nullsec or in lowsec. I'm just going to stick to the highsec missions for now. But if you look at Caldari State, there's already a ton of corporations within Caldari State where you can grab missions off of, and all of them are with different, they have their own standing, so you'll have to like kind of grind them up if you want to pick a particular one. At the moment we are going to be taking Caldari Constructions missions, so I've got decent enough standing with them. Yeah, so when you dock in one of these stations with a security mission agent, so you can find them under the agent tab, and then it will say available to you is this one and this one, not so much, and probably because this one is from the Caldari Navy Corporation, so I don't have the standing with them. No, not yet, not for level 4s. I can probably do level 2s, but not level 4s yet. So the way it works is you just press the the start conversation button, and then you can request a mission. And then it gives you this window, and you can kind of read up on what the mission is. Some missions have special ship restrictions. You can just click on that, and then you can kind of see all of the ships that are legal to use for this type of mission. So that's that's really good. Sometimes you have like so for instance, looking at this one, you're not allowed to use a T2 ship. Well, that's good. We don't have a Tech 2 ship at the moment we're flying with, so we're all good. So we can accept the mission, and before accepting it, you can also see probably the people that you're going to be shooting. So you're going to be shooting Caldari Navy. I'm not overly fond of shooting Empire factions, but we're just going to do it anyway. So you clicked on it, you've accepted the mission, and now we need to go and get there. And then this really nifty thing here pops up that kind of tells you exactly what you need to do. So you just press undock, and we need to fly to the system of Asto. So we just click here, set the destination, and luckily it is next door. So we're just gonna go over there,
active,
complete the mission. If by any chance you kind of forgot what you needed to do during the mission, you can just click on the 3 dots here, and then you can either view the details again or start the conversation. But if you view the details, you'll see again what it is that you need. So you need to, we're going to head over to the ASTO system, and we're going to pick up this Rogue Drone AI core, and it's probably going to be dropped from one of the NPCs that we're going to shoot here. So now there's kind of two ways to go about getting towards the site location, because as you can see, like on the probe scanner, there's only combat sites that you can just warp to, but not our mission. So you can either press the warp to location button over here, or you can right click in space, go to the agent mission section, and then warp from it there. So it's two ways to go
warp
about
drive
it.
active.
Just use whichever one you fancy. And probably we'll be able to clear this site really quickly, then we can move on to some some other stuff. So we're landing here. There's this really cool acceleration gate. Not all missions will have an acceleration gate, but a lot of them do. And that's kind of to, you can just
Warp drive active.
take it as like you would take a normal gate, and you'll warp towards the site. And you can see there's already some some enemies in here, and then it tells you need the Rogue Drone thing in your cargo hold. But we'll probably have to shoot all of these, or at least a portion of these enemies. So we're just gonna go and move down. Probably shoot the bunker first. So the way we're going to go about this is, we're getting shot at already at the moment. We're just going to shoot this bunker first. And we're not really fussed about the shield yet, because we're an armor ship. We have an armor repair unit, and we're just gonna shoot a couple of these small ones first. They'll probably go down really quickly. So with clearing these these lower level sites, there's not really a really big strategy to it. You just kind of try and destroy the small stuff, because that gives a ton of DPS. Do also be mindful of your drones, because as you can already see, there's one drone that's getting shot at a little bit, but that's fine. We're just gonna send it to a different enemy and it'll probably be okay. So I'm just clearing out like the majority of the the stuff here for now, just to lower the DPS. And as you can see, there's already, well, there's less DPS coming to the ship because they're shooting the drone at the moment, but normally I would if there would have been less enemies, I would have probably took a shot at these ones first, but normally that sound would terrify me, but not today. So we're into kind of into shield. I'm just gonna turn my shield repair module on. It can run indefinitely, so that's good, because as you can see, we are capstaying on the ship. If there would be a lot more DPS incoming, I would be moving around a little bit more, but it's not that much incoming at the moment. Now, let's see. I think I'm just gonna need to shoot the last remaining ships here. I do have to say, for level 1 mission, this was a little bit on the bigger side. You also have missions that are, you know, that have a lot less ships to shoot, because as you can see, we already have like a big trail of wrecks there. Then as you can see, there was a second spawn, so all these, you know, these missions can have multiple spawns. They could have like just a single spawn of ships that, you know, that initially are there, or you know, or there's a couple of extra ones like today. There's a lot of ships spawning actually for level 1, but you can easily manage it. It's also the nice thing about frigates.
A module has run out of charges.
They kind of, you know, they can kind of move across the field when the enemies are a little bit further away, so you can get back into range and shoot them. Hopefully I can get my Rogue Drone AI core pretty soon. There we go. So by killing the last normal ship spawn or drone spawn, is whatever you want to call it, it kind of teleported into the cargo hold. That doesn't always, you know, that's not always the case. Sometimes the stuff that you need from a mission, I mean, sometimes you get the assignment to capture some prisoners or whatnot. Maybe you need to shoot a station, maybe you need to shoot a transport ship, and you'll have to grab it from the wreck, but not today, so that was good. Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to shoot the remaining structures, but at the moment it's a little bit senseless. So we're just going to recall our drones, and we are going to go back. So you can just set your destination back.
Warp drive active.
And we'll fly back, and we'll go over a couple of other ship fittings for Tech 2 ships. We'll do, I'll run a Tech 2 mission as well. This one was actually kind of long, but normally they are a little bit faster. It kind of also, the time needed to clear the missions also kind of increases with each level. So normally a level 1 mission, you know, you can do in 5 minutes. Level 2,
warp drive,
you know, also. Level 3s, I sadly don't have a level 3 mission agent around here at the moment that I can do, or at least I don't have the ships for it, but you can use either a Tech 2 cruiser or a battle cruiser for that. And for you know, level 4s, I'll start a level 4. I won't be able to finish it because that takes a little bit longer time. But you know, most level 4s are best done with either, you know, normal Tech 1 battleship, or some people even use Tech 2 battleships for them, just to do them quickly. So you've completed the mission. You can click this button again to start the conversation, or you can click it over here. So we're gonna view the mission. You can see here, you know, we got the item in the cargo, so you know, tick is blue, so we can complete it. And then, as a funny thing, that you might not always see. But at the moment, I'm in fleet or in a fleet. I'm in solo in a fleet. But you can choose to split the mission rewards between the members of the fleet up to 10, or you can just claim it for yourself. That is cool because that way you can also share not only the money that you get off of the mission, but also standings. So if you have a friend or a buddy or maybe another character of your own, you can help them progress along. And as you can see, we've gotten our payment. We got the payment, and we got the standing increase notification as well. So yeah, that's kind of how it goes. You can either request a new one or not, which we're not going to do now. We're going to go back to Samanuni, and we're going to look at a couple of other different ships. Yeah, so like I said, with the level 1 mission we just did, there was a lot of small stuff, and I just, kind of prioritized those first. Normally, if you like go into level 4 missions, then I also prioritize smaller stuff first, because that's most likely the things that will either shoot my drones, or maybe the smaller ships have webification modules, or they have warp scram modules, and you don't want to have all that stuff, right? So you just shoot those first, and then at the end you shoot and prioritize the bigger stuff, so the battleships and all that. Let's dock in the correct station here.
Warp drive active.
Of course, you can also use a destroyer. I'm going to show you a couple of destroyers. You can also use destroyers, of course, for level 1 missions. If you're just starting the game, you feel more comfortable in a ship that's a little bit bigger, which I can fully understand. But anything bigger than a destroyer, I wouldn't use for the level 1 missions, just because you'll have like a slower moving ship, so probably in the end you might even do longer about completing a mission than otherwise. Level 2 missions, we've got a couple of really great options. I got a couple of them here. Again, it's nice to have ships that can swap out their damage types. When we're gonna do the level 4 mission, I'll really deep dive into that a little bit, maybe with these level 2s as well. This is the Dragoon. It is a Amarr destroyer. Amarr is notoriously known for their lasers, but this thing is a drone boat, actually. The Amarr folks made a pretty decent, nice drone boat. It's got bonuses for drone hit points and damage, and the energy neutralizers, which are they're more commonly used in PvP. There's no real usage for that. And the roll bonus is drone max velocity, so the drones move faster as well. So that's really cool. It has the unique advantage of being able to have you can mount lasers on it, or other guns or launchers. So that's really cool. So I tend to use it with missile launchers and drones, and then we go up a little bit in DPS. So if we look at the Tristan is kind of the oddball out in terms of the damage output that it can do, because 100 almost 160 for a ship under 10 million is pretty darn good for a mission ship. And then the Dragoon goes goes up a little bit in DPS, goes up a little bit in price too, but if you keep running missions, maybe you do a little bit of selling, maybe you do a little bit of mining of items, then you'll be able to get there. And yeah, it's you know, it's just basically one of the mill, you know, armor repairer again. You got some resist with the multi-spectrum coating. Drones get a little bit of damage output, and then here are a couple of capacitor control circuits that kind of help you with keeping it cap stable, because that's what I want on the ship. And I think I even went a little bit overboard with cap stability on this one, but I probably could, you know, lose a couple of these, but you know, this will work fantastically. Another really cool ship is the Algos, which is, you know, it's the drone boat to use basically. The Galenta drone boat. It's got, you know, it's got the same drone velocity bonus. It's got the drone hit points and damage bonus as well, and the bonus to hybrid turrets. Now, hybrid turrets are not really, you can't really swap out the damage type on them. They kind of always do thermal and kinetic damage, as you can see on the you know, the infograph here. You know, it does 8 points of thermal and 11 points of kinetic damage. But you know, if you're doing missions in either Caldari or Galente space, you know, you're going to be fine with these. Another great example as well, I'm just going to show it because I don't have one here, are, you know, purely dedicated missile ships like this this Corax over here. So if I'm just going to simulate this, put some ammo in it. This one does a little bit, you know, does a little bit less damage, just because I used Tech 1 launchers, because, you know, otherwise stuff wouldn't fit. You can probably make it able to fit T2 launchers if you want, but then you'll have to, you know, seriously alter the fitting, because you'll be running into some CPU issues. But yeah, this is shield based, so you just use, you know, you can swap out the ammo type on the launchers. As you can see, each one of these, like Inferno does thermal damage, and then all of these have different, you know, Mjolnir does electromagnetic damage, Nova does explosive, Scorch missiles do kinetic damage, so you can really like tailor the entire ship towards the enemy that you're going to shoot. And you have this this one resist amp slot here that you can kind of swap in and out of, you know, if you're going to go up against Sancha enemies, you'll probably want to swap this one out for an electromagnetic resist amplifier. So, you know, because you don't have a lot of EM damage resist here, so you can just kind of swap. Let me just find one. So you can kind of swap into, you know, you can get it up to like 54. It's kind of okay, you know, it's not the best, but, you know, for level 2 missions, that's good. So we are just going to grab the Dragoon, just for funsies. And we're going to do one level 2 mission with it. Let's see. I'm probably just going to do this one. So we're requesting it again. We are again. Alright. Yep. Oh, we're up against. See, we're up against Blood Raiders. Now that's cool. We are going to accept, you know, the mission. We're going to quickly check the ship in terms of. Okay, we have our acolytes with us. So acolytes are Amar drones. They do EM damage, so that's good. We don't have the correct missiles fitted, but probably. See, we have them with us, so we're going to swap those out when we're en route to the system. And looking at our armor resist profile, we're kind of good on EM damage resistance, so we're all good to go. So we're just going to undock quickly, head over to system next door. So that's going to be Ucho Media.
Warp drive active.
I will just swap into the stuff already that we're going to be using. Yeah, and again, I mean, at the the lower end missions, you might you're going to be able to clear the rooms of all the missions a little bit faster if you use the correct ammo type and all that stuff. I do have a list. It's probably here. See. So as you can see, there's like a list of. You can also look at this up on probably Eve University website, something like that. Sancha. See, the damage dealt by Sancha is EM, and the damage to deal to them is EM or thermal, because that's their lowest resists on their ships. I'll show you how to check that as well, and you can kind of use this kind of stuff as a cheat sheet, and just so you know how to what stuff to use. Use the acceleration gate again.
Drive active.
And let's see what we're gonna find when we land. Yeah, it's also really good choice to use like a dedicated PvE profile, overview profile, right? Just so you can see kind of all the stuff that you need to clear out. We can already start targeting stuff that's in range, because I think these are in range too. So if you right click on a target, and you can just use the show info window, you can see all of the resists on all the on the ship. So as you can see, electromagnetic is the least amount of resistance on their ships, and you can also see the damage that they do. So they do EM and thermal, and if you would have been using explosive damage drones or whatnot, you'd be having like a more difficult time to clear everything out. Let's see, and again, keep an eye on your drones, because they're always getting shot. I should actually turn my afterburn on, actually, because that'll get me. So, what this mission entails is that we need to get the 10 militants in our cargo hold, and as you can see, they're probably going to be in this cargo ship. So we're going to fly over there. As you can see, we're already doing a whole lot of damage. And this time, the items don't really go into our our item hangar immediately. So we'll have to fly towards the wreckage and then grab it. So we're just flying here at the moment. I think, yeah, a lot of these enemy ships are already either dying or they are dead. There's not so many left now. And these drones go super fast, actually. Let's see. So we're gonna pick up these militants. So we picked them up. So basically, mission is done right now. We could just grab the drones and already go. As you can see, the drones are going haywire on these enemies. They just auto target stuff that's either shooting them or me. So I don't really have to do a whole lot now, but just for good measure, I'll shoot some missiles too. and we're done. And then get the drones back, and we'll fly back to Sama Nuni, and mission
Warp
complete.
drive
As you can see,
active.
this level 2 mission was a lot faster and easier than the level 1 mission that we did earlier. So I think that was just one of the exceptions. And off, and we didn't even get into armor, so And when we come back to Sama Nuni, we're gonna do one more level 2, but then with a frigate. I'm gonna show you a couple of options so that if you train up a little bit more, because these are they're
Warp drive
like
active.
a little bit more early entry ships that you can use. They're also not that they're not super expensive. You don't need a whole lot of skills. I mean, you don't even need to use the Tech 2 versions of these modules to have the ship running perfectly, right? The thing to really keep in your mind is that you always need to have
Docking
a repair
permission
module.
requested. Docking
That is really
request
important
accepted.
because the mission might go on for 10-15 minutes, and you need something to get your health, your hit points back. Resist is always good if you can put it on there. Same with the damage control, that also gives you good resist. And please make sure that you always need a propulsion module. Afterburner is kind of preferred. You can use a micro warp drive, but you'll run into issues that you're not cap stable or whatever. And I prefer to be my ships at least cap stable with the armor repair module or the shield repair module running. If it's not cap stable with the afterburner, I don't really fuss about that. I don't really care, but I want to be able to always repair it. Looking at some next level up options for either level 1 or 2 missions, you could fly a Hawk, and the Hawk is the Tech 2 version of the Merlin, and the Merlin uses railguns, but the Hawk uses missiles. So it's really cool because you can technically swap them out. In theory, you probably won't, because as you can see, the Hawk gets a 10% 10% bonus to kinetic light missiles for each level of the Caldari frigate skill, and you need level 5 in order to be able to fly this ship. So you don't want to miss out on that 50% bonus damage from the missiles. Even if we've looked at the resist profile from the Sancha ships, there was a difference between either 5% resist or 35%. Well, you're still better off probably shooting the the kinetic missiles at that thing. This one has space for 2 amplifiers, the resist amplifiers, so you can easily swap out to to really use the specific shield resist that you need. You've got 0 EM resist, so if there's anything that you have to go up against, like if I would have to go up against these Sanchas, I'll probably put 2 electromagnetic resist amps in it, because the base value of the thermal is already 80%, so I don't need to increase that even more. At the moment it's set up to shoot Guristas, which do thermal and kinetic, so that kind of fits, right? Yeah, just a small shield booster, and a boost amplifier, and some increased DPS. As you can see, this with the missiles does like 200 DPS, so really good considering the the destroyers kind of do a similar damage, but these ships are more nimble. They'll warp. If you need to fly to your target system, you'll be there faster. Overall, it moves faster, right? It goes almost 1,000 meters a second. So, and it's a smaller ship. The destroyer is a bigger ship. It'll be easier to hit for your enemies, and assault frigate like this Hawk is, more difficult to hit for them. Another good example could be the Galente version, or at least a Galente assault frigate. This case, the Ishkur, which uses drones. That's pretty good. So this is a pure drone ship, but it also has bonuses for hybrid turrets and even bonuses for armor repair. So that makes it a great little mission frigate, because you want to have a bonus in repair modules. If I put it here, see, it's got a decent repair speed. It's not cap stable, but if you don't use the afterburner, it is. So you can still maneuver around a little bit, turn off the afterburner if need be, and just use it when you need to move somewhere. And keep in mind then that kind of takes 7 minutes to drain out the entire thing. But I think if you turn off if you turn off a couple modules, then you can kind of micromanage the cap. It's not the biggest deal for this ship. So you can swap out the the ammo, or the ammo. You can't really swap out the ammo because it's railguns, so it's the same damage type overall. But you swap out the drones, and that's kind of the main DPS of the ship. So this one's a really good choice too, actually. And then coming off to my fan favorite, which we're going to use now for this last level 2 mission, is actually a faction frigate, which is a little bit of a expensive choice. Kind of follows the model of the Merlin, and it has missiles, and it has drones. So if we look at it, this is kind of spendy. I wouldn't want to say that you would use this as a newer player, but maybe somewhere along the line you go and live in a different portion of New Eden, like I said, and you want to grind these missions really quickly, like the early missions. Then the Worm is your friend, because it does like 330 DPS. So, and it's really quick, and it has a really good resist profile, and it can repair pretty decent as well. This is going to be your buddy. I am just going to grab. I think I need to complete this one actually. Oh wait, let me quickly get back into my Twiston, and then we should be able to. Oh wait, it was the Dragoon. We used the Dragoon, and then probably now we can complete it. Yep. Well, let's request a new one right away, and take the Worm out. And then after we do this mission, we're gonna go and do a level 4 mission. And we'll go about, I'll show you how to prep for something like that. So while we were doing these missions, you increase the standing
Warp
towards
drive active.
the agent, and how you can see that is if you press the Alt and A key combo, you go into your character screen. So your normal character screen, you can go to interactions, and then you'll have to find the corporation that you're doing missions for. At this moment we're doing Caldari Constructions, and here you can see like the increase of standing, basically. So you can kind of see how it gradually goes up. There's a little bit of a bigger dip or bigger increase here. That's because I did a level 4 mission
active.
here. So the level of the mission also determines the uptick in standing, basically. So all of these have been level 2 missions. Like, so you can see it's not a whole lot. You're slowly like kind of grinding along, and then just one level 4 mission just kind of increases it to by 0.115%, which is, or a point, basically. So that's really good. So that, let's see. So for instance, we did not land on any activation gate this time. So let's read the details. What do we need to do now? Okay. We'll probably have to fly kind of towards this station here and see if see, there's a spawn now here. So the only person that we had to kill was the executive. So that's what we're going to do right now. It's a Caldari ship. I'm going to launch some Hornets, and this thing should be dead really, really soon, as you can see. There we go. So now we did the mission. That was really, really quick, and that's kind of way to kind of cheese the missions, as you could say, or like, quickly just gain the standing and move on. I could also shoot these. It would it wouldn't give me any bounties. These are actually like Empire State enemies. So if you shoot them, you'll drop in standing with the Caldari State. They do drop. I'll just shoot one of them, just so you can see what'll happen. So I'll just shoot this one. See, that was really quick. And open the wreck, and they drop these items called insignias. So it's kind of what it drops. You can turn these in for points or whatnot, but I never really do anything with these. So I also kind of try and avoid shooting these Empire faction ships, just so I don't get standing drop from them. That's also kind of which targets are safe to shoot. Well, I mean, if you don't mind a little bit of standings drop, then you can shoot those. Otherwise, just shoot the pirate faction ones, like Aristas, Sanchez, Serpentis, kind of those types of enemies. Eventually, if we're gonna look at this this image again, eventually, if these go negative, the Caldari Mimitor and whatnot, then somewhere along the line, you'll be a criminal in their space.
Warp
and
drive
today,
active.
I've already done a couple of anti-Galente missions, and I think I was up to 1.7 at the beginning of today, and I did a couple of missions, and now I'm at 1.2, so it can go really quick. So as you can see, kind of dipped down pretty hard.
Docking permission requested.
Yeah,
Docking
if you're not
request
really,
accepted.
if you don't
Docking
really
permission
mind,
requested.
then you can do that. And we're just gonna quickly turn in this mission. There we go. Yeah, so there's tons of stuff for ships that you can use. I'll show you a couple of cruisers. We won't be going out with those, because the last thing we're going to be doing is a level 4 mission, just as a start. If you don't have if you don't want to fly one of these, these frigates like this one's, it's a little bit, it's a little bit spendy. These are kind of okay. I like doing a 30 mil range, I think. So they're good if you don't feel comfortable flying a smaller ship or a destroyer, because you want to have something bigger. A Caracal or Caracal Navy issue might be something for you. These are a lot bigger. They've got a lot more hit points. They they also do a lot more damage. Like this one does like 500 DPS, so that's good. It does, however, use like medium-sized guns, and that's something quickly that we can talk about. So small guns apply really well to smaller targets. Medium-sized guns apply less damage to smaller targets, but more to medium targets, just because it's part of EVE's in-game mechanic about, if you're using turrets, you can kind of imagine a smaller turret is more nimble to move. It can track smaller targets better. A medium-sized turret or even a large-sized turret, they are slower to track. They have a slower tracking speed, so they have a harder time to track fast, nimble targets. So like it'll be good to use a large turret against a battleship because it's a slow-moving target. But a frigate is pretty nimble and it's gonna miss, right? And the same is kind of with missiles, oddly. A bigger missile has a more difficult time applying its damage to smaller ship. So, but you can kind of counter that by using kind of stuff like this missile guidance computer, because it increases the explosion velocity of the missile and also the flight duration. So it increases the explosion velocity and the radius. So, it's better for applying to smaller ships. And if you don't want to fly a missile-based ship, because of course the missile-based ship is easier to swap out the ammo type, you can use, you can also use a drone-type ship like the Vexor. And it kind of does similar amount of DPS. You have a pretty substantial drone bay. Like you can use medium-sized drones on the, with the Vexor. So you can use 5 of those. You can use small ones. You got some guns here too. I put guns in that fit because otherwise, if I put in different guns, I would have had fitting issues. But these guns track smaller ships pretty decent, dual 150s, so they're decent choice. They don't have a whole lot of range, but I think if I put in the Tech 2 long range ammo into one of them, or all of them actually now, see, they have extended range, so that's kind of good as well. So these are also options, for if you don't want to use a frigate or a destroyer and you still want to do T2 missions. So that's a good one. Going on to the level 4s, we're going to use a battleship for that. And my go-to ship for level 4s is always the Praxis. And it might sound a little bit dull, and it's it's a cool looking ship, but it's not the best looking ship. I'll give you that. But it has really good applications, because if we go into the fitting window, as you can see, the Praxis basically has bonuses for each weapon platform. So every type of turret, every type of missile, it has bonuses for drones, and it has an omni resist profile. So at the moment you're looking at the ship and none of the modules are turned off or on, and it has 37% resist on shield all across the board, and same goes for armor and hull, and that's kind of unique because all of these other ships, like I'm just quickly going to grab a couple of ships again to demonstrate. See, here the stats are all kind of over the place. If I grab an Amora one, it shifts again, right? Maybe even Maulus. See, it's all different except for the Praxis. And what you can do with that is you can specifically set up your entire ship just for the one mission that you're going to be running. And that's kind of important for the level 4s because they are, they get increasingly more difficult. And the level 4s in HiSec, they're, it's not the most difficult site that you can run in game, but it'll definitely, you'll have to keep your attention with the screen, etc. So, as you can see, at the moment, it's kind of fit up to fight Galente pirate ships. So I put in thermal damage, and it has a kinetic and a thermal shield hardener, active hardener, just to get max amount of resist instead of the amplifiers that I used on the other ships. So what that means is that you get like an 81 and 82% resist profile for those two types of incoming damage, and you already know like which enemy that you're going to be facing, so you can just swap these two out to tailor it to the mission, and this is really good resist, right? Also, you got the X large booster on this fitting, so you're going to get a ton of hit point regeneration, so that's good too. And it's, although barely, it is cap stable. You'll have to get a lot of skill points in to get it cap stable, but you can also just run it without the afterburner running, and you'll be fine. Other than that, it's got some stuff in here to help with fitting. It's got some stuff in here for more capacitor regen. Like if I turn these off, it's going to be a mess, right? 3 minutes is really, it's not enough. You're not going to be able to complete a level 4 mission in 3 minutes with the ship. So yeah, that's kind of how it's set up. Capacitor battery as well. Shield boost amplifier. So it's kind of, most of the stuff is fitted up for repairing the shield, and a little bit is, with the ballistic controls is fit up for getting a little bit of power, a little bit of extra, DPS. And at the moment, it does almost 900, which is okay, I'd say, for doing a level 4 mission. I know there's people that prefer ships that go, do over 1,000 DPS or whatnot more, but I'd say this is kind of okay to complete level 4 in a decent time. We've got one here. We're just gonna get a mission. All right, so we need to. This is a. I know this. I kind of know this mission, so I know that this is a. There's going to be multiple enemies, but I think the way we set the ship up is kind of good, and we need to shoot pirate faction ships, so that's good too. So we're just gonna accept it as it is. Quickly gonna go over what kind of stuff that I have in here. I've got drones, which is good. I'll just use these drones, and let's see if I look in here. I could do with some more Inferno actually, so let's just grab 1,500 more, and I want some kinetic as well. So I'm just gonna bring a little bit of more stuff. As you could already see, here I have these mobile tractor units. I would say for all of the other levels of missions, maybe level 3s you also want them, but level 1s and 2s, you can salvage them. It's going to be a little bit of a bonus for you early on. You know, it'll help you in terms of money, but there's not a whole lot in it. You know, there's not a whole lot of really. Sometimes you really get. Sometimes you could get lucky, get an expensive drop, but most of the time, you know, you don't get it. With level 4s, however, there's more sense in trying to get the loot and the salvage, because there's just more enemies. There's bigger enemies, like there's loads more battleships and stuff like that. So there's, you know, more salvage for you and a better extra payout for doing the mission. Yeah, and as you can already see, the bigger the ship, the slower they go. So that's why I said don't use too big a ship on, you know, too low level mission, because you'll only end up needing more time to finish it. Let's see, we need to go next door. Mission's awfully close, so that's good. I'm just gonna kind of start the mission. I'm not gonna finish it because there's probably not enough time. But you know, we'll at this point we kind of get
drive active.
Hopefully, you know, how it all kind of works. And when you want to salvage stuff, basically. So, say we did complete the level 4 mission that we're doing at the moment. There's a couple of ships that can help you with that too. So, one of them is a destroyer fitted with salvagers or tractor beams. You can kind of use any destroyer because, you know, you just want a ship that has a lot of high slots to put these things in. And destroyers have like a base cargo space of like 400 M3 or something, so it's, you know, it's nice enough space to put some loot in. And if you want to use something more optimized, you can go with a more expensive ship like the Noctis. This is really tailored for you know, for gathering salvage. So it's a bigger ship, it's got more cargo space, and it's better, you know, with salvaging. But that's just something else. We've landed, and as you can see, we're shooting all kinds of, well, at the moment, yeah, it's alright. So it's more Minmatar based actually. So we're just gonna quickly check. We can kinda, yeah, we could, I don't know if I have Nova with me. Do I have Nova? No. See? Kind of fumbled here. We are just gonna stick with the thermal that we have at the moment. We'll probably be doing fine. And you know, I'm just sitting here at the moment, and I, you know, keep an eye on the incoming damage. At the moment it's kind of fine, so I can just sit still. If it's really going to dip into, you know, if you can kind of see if it doesn't repair the damage again, then you need to start moving. But we can just shoot these from here, and I'm first gonna try and shoot these guys, because oh wait, is this, no, those are the battle, no, I want these. I'm gonna shoot the smaller ones a little bit first, and I'm gonna bring out some drones too, probably do some damage. So yeah, at the moment it's just sitting here. You know, the missiles have a ridiculously long range, like 100 kilometers. I think the ship itself has like around 87. So anything here I can kill. Oh, there's a really good example. There's a good fumble on purpose. So I kind of launched these hammerheads, sent them towards one of these, which was a good idea. And as you can see, I'm going to pull them back. As you can see, there's still a couple of these frigates here, right? And they're kind of chewing up all of these drones, sadly. And the way you can tell that they're shooting the drones is because these are all not yellow boxing me. So they are on grid, and they're not yellow boxing me. So that means that they were shooting the drones. So that's kind of how you can tell. Like, now they're hopefully going to switch. And if they're not going to switch, I'm just going to dish out some hobgoblins. I'm going to shoot these smaller ships. Try and kill them. So these are, these are things you really want to shoot with your drones first, because otherwise you'll lose the bigger drones that you have, that you want to use to, shoot the bigger ships. And that also goes for destroyers too. So you want to prioritize those with your drones as well. And in the meantime, you can just chug along at the medium-sized targets. And at the moment, I'm still doing fine. Right? There's no need for me to move. And by moving, I mean, like if you move your ship, like say we are moving, right? If I move my ship at an angle of where these guys are shooting from, they're going to have a hard time, or a harder time, more difficult time tracking me. And that's kind of, why you want to move during... they're also chewing up the light drones, so sometimes you just need to, get them recalled and just so they switch aggro. But yeah, if you move during the mission, they'll have a harder time shooting you, and you'll get less incoming damage. And otherwise, you can just kind of stay where you are actually, because it's not really. You don't really need to move. I really hope we can clear these frigates really quick. Yeah, and this is kind of, how you go about the sites basically. You kind of check to prioritize the targets. Some of these frigates, like not these, but sometimes these frigates have webs. Or warp disruptors, like I said earlier, and you really want to clear those out as soon as you can, because if you really get too much damage incoming and you need to move, right, and you got webs on you, then you move slower, and you get, like I said, you get more damage, and that's not good. And if you get warp scrammed in one of these sites, and you really need to warp out because you get too much damage, then it's gonna be a really tough time then, and you probably end up losing the ship sadly. But at the moment we might even get to clear this before the end of the class actually, because there we go, webs. So one of these. And by the looks of it, it was the one that I just shot. But yeah, we were talking about webs, and then one guy came up with a web, so that's why we want to kill them. And I kill these cruisers and battle cruisers first as well, because they are faster to take out than the battleships. And all of them combined might even do more damage than the battleships. And you want to reduce the amount of incoming damage to your ship as quickly as possible. So they're kind of melting away, which is is good. And then we can switch over to this big guy over here. Or one of these actually. It's sometimes because this is a Caldari ship and this is like a Minmatar pirate faction ship. You do get missions like this sometimes where there's like multiple different
a module has run out of charges.
Enemies. So like for instance, if we're gonna look at the profiles over here, we're just gonna put them next to each other. They're kind of this time they're kind of similar. Sometimes they're different, but this is kind of okay. It's good that we brought the thermal with us actually, because it's the best, kind of the best thing almost to shoot here. Yeah, it's kind of good. Could have done EM as well, but and yeah, Zor is melting away as well. I don't think he's having a good day. Yeah, there he goes. And then we're off to the last one. I don't know if there's a second spawn after this. If there is, then we'll just leave it for now. But let's see. Just gonna look here again. Yeah, I think this is probably it. Or nah. Okay, so there's another spawn coming, but yeah, that'll probably come a little bit later, and they'll spawn more folks in. But yeah, that's kind of the way to. We can just hang here on grid. Maybe they'll come really quickly. We can shoot them. But that's kind of the way to go about the the missions. It doesn't really matter where you do the missions. I mean, you can, like, if you really want to go into it, each different faction of security mission corporation, right? They all have their own extra reward store. So, we're doing these missions. You get the ISK payout, you get the bounties from the ships, but you also get something that's called loyalty points. And the loyalty points you can use in a loyalty point store. We can probably just go back to the, just go there, and I'll show you
Warp drive
quickly.
active.
And you can use the loyalty point store to buy extra items. And most of the times it's like faction items, or items that are a little bit more valuable. You'll have to use your loyalty points that you get from the security missions. Maybe you have to pay a little bit of ISK as well, and you get it at reduced price. It's like a discount store, right? And then you might want to look into which faction has the item that you want. So, for instance, if you're running missions for the Sisters of Eve, that's a faction. They can you can trade stuff to get Sisters of Eve combat probes, or scanner, core probe launchers and stuff like that. You could even exchange blueprints, your loyalty points for blueprints to build Sisters of Eve ships, for instance, like an Astero. That's the let me just quickly show that
active.
to you. It's a really cool looking ship. It's more of an exploration, combat exploration ship, but yeah, you can get those from Sisters of Eve. And now, if you're doing stuff for Caldari State, you'll probably be able to get blueprints for faction Caldari ships, stuff like that. Or maybe you can trade in stuff for faction shield items, right? All that kind of stuff. So it's kind of, it's a little bit more of a deep dive into, security missions, but that's kind of what you can look into as well. Like, what do I want?
Docking permission requested.
Which faction do I have to run the missions for? Let's see. This is a great station, by the way.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
There we go. Yep, so there's a really cool button all the way up here that says loyalty point store. And you can kind of see, the amount of loyalty points you have. And, it was kind of correct, right? So if you want, you can get a Raven Navy issue blueprint, or Drake, or Caldari Navy shield hardener, more things, ship blueprints. There's implants. So for instance, what does this thing do? Let's see, reduction in manufacturing time. So it just kind of shows you the diversity of stuff that you can get. And of course, Caldari Navy items, because it's a Caldari type loyalty point store, right? Guns, all that fun stuff. So that's kind of what you can kind of look into. And Sisters of Eve, a loyalty point store will look completely different. They'll have, or at least not. They might have these implants. They're kind of similar maybe, but they'll have other stuff. They won't have the missiles, for instance. So yeah, that's kind of how it goes. So you just start off by go to the agency store, kind of see where that you can find the mission agents. Just pick one close by, start doing the missions. The first initial grind is going to be a little bit rough, maybe. If we go back to these, this this graph here. So you can kind of do level 1 agents, at 0, right? So if you don't have any standings, you can kind of do the level 1s, and then if you get up to a standing of 1.0, you can go into level 2 agents, etc. So it kind of 3, there's a little bit of a big up here from 1 to 3, but then from 3 to 5 for level 4s, and then you need 7 for level 5 agents, but those are in null and low sec. So, and they we're using battleships now for the level 4s. You probably need either a carrier or a dreadnought to do the level 5 agents. So we're not doing those for now. It's too it's too dangerous. And as you can see, you can gradually grind along and get to the standing that you need, and higher level missions always give you a higher increase in the standing. So like I said earlier, these are all like level 2 missions, and it kind of some give more, some give less, right, in standing increase. But obviously level 4s, like, they give a big increase. So it's worth your time more. And ship wise, just use something that you like. Maybe you like the look of the ship, but do keep in mind that using like a ship type that can swap out its damage application type is always better. So something with missiles or drones is always best, right? Because it gives you like versatility. You can also just use your Mauler, your Amarr cruiser in Amarr space, right? There's nothing wrong with that, because most likely a lot of the enemies you'll be shooting, they have a weakness for EM damage, and that's what the Mauler's lasers do. So that's fine. But if you want to do, if you move around Eve and you come live in Caldari space or Galenta space in this example, that Mauler is not going to be so practical. It'll probably get the job done, but it'll take a longer time because you need to shoot the enemy more before it dies. So yeah, being able to swap out is really good, and just have fun. You can even I didn't go out with it during this class, but you can even run level 1 missions in a venture. So if you just take a venture and you're like, nah, I don't want to mine today, I'm just gonna put guns on it like that, like those, and a shield booster, and you can still do level 1s with that. There's nothing wrong with doing 72 DPS or something, right? It's all fine. Like I said, you can even do most of the level 1s probably also in your Corvette, not the one that we did earlier, because that one was kind of crazy. But yeah, yeah. So just choose whatever you like. Prioritize the smaller targets first. That's always important. Like you saw, lost a couple of drones there because I was not paying attention, and there were still smaller ships out on grid, and they'll start shooting your drones. You'll lose them, and that's sad, because you'll have to replace those drones. And if you lose a full flight of drones, it only takes away from the profits that you make, right, with the security agents. Yeah, that's kind of it, I think, for now, for the class. I don't know. Are there any questions, or do I need to go over something more, or
No, thank you very much. It was very insightful.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what I just want to know, if you do like Eve Rookie's incursions, the praxis is basically the entry level.
Yes.
How do you find it in level 4 missions? Is it easy, or is it also considered sort of the minimum, if you want to call it that, for level 4s?
For level 4s, I would actually call it, at least my personal preferred ship, because like I said, like if we're gonna look at this praxis again, and I really love this ship just because of the resist profile, right? So if I, for instance, let's say I want to fly another missile-based ship, a Raven. So let's take a look at a Raven, and then look at the where are the attributes? Yep. So if you look at this shield resist profile, like 0% EM, and the thermal, and kinetic, they're kind of okay. Thermal's kind of, low, really low, and explosive, that's kind of high, but that's kind of how it goes on Caldari ships. But it's going to be more difficult to fit this thing up properly for all of the, like, say for instance I need to do a mission that has only Sancha enemies, so that's a more. I have 0 resist. I have to find a way to make sure that I can take a beating, right? But I'll never be able to get that EM damage up to like 80%, because if I'm fighting Sancha, I would like to use, say, let's see, thermal and EM, right? So we'll have to use. I'm just gonna go with a. Do you need a Gist? Yeah, Gist C type. So a Gist C type EM would be. Where is it? Dead Space Gist C type EM. See? It'll have 81% too, but I'm never going to be able to get that here, right? So the ship's going to be doing good enough DPS. The Raven. That's good. But the tank is going to be less, right? And I might even need to bail mid-mission if things go really heavy, right? So I could also use a more expensive ship. Maybe I want to, I could also use its bigger brother, which is the, what is it? The Golem. I don't know what the resist profile is on that by heart, but it's kind of this, it's better, right? But I still have this big EM hole. But yeah, the flying Marauders, the Tech 2 battleships, if you're really into the level 4 missions, you'll probably eventually go into this ship. The only downside of this ship is that it's terribly expensive. I don't know if there are golems on market. No. But I think they go for like what is it? Maybe $1 billion. Kind of like that. You're looking at like a ship that's worth more than $1 billion ISK if you want to fit it up properly, right? Because you'll be fitting it up with a lot more expensive modules as well. So, and that'll probably outperform the Praxis on all levels, right? It'll be able to tank more, it can repair more, it can do more damage, but then you've also invested a whole lot of more, right? So if level 4 missions is all you're doing, you're probably going to go into one of those, you know, at some point. This is just the I mean, it's, you can kind of categorize it as an entry level because you don't really need any where's the skill thing? You only need Spaceship Command 1, right? To fly it, because it's not a major an Empire faction ship. But then again, you can fit it up to be better than all of the other Tech 1 normal battleships. So yeah, I would say it's the best ship to use if you just want to casually do it and not invest shit ton of money. I think this is already a lot of money, right? Because I think there's also a couple of items in here that are pretty expensive, like these perhaps, but you do kind of need those for now, to make the ship run properly. So this is already a lot of money in my book for like a newer player. But you can you can tune it down. But yeah. And for incursions go far beyond what you would get thrown at you than in like a level 4 mission, right? So you'll need a better ship in the long run to be able to perform properly in an incursion. So most people, like entry level ships for incursions, are indeed the Praxis, like you said. Some incursion groups also accept you with a Apocalypse Navy issue, or with a I think it was that Hyperion, or was it the other one? Let me quickly check before I say something silly. No, not the Hyperion. The let me quickly check in the Galenta battleship tree. The Vindicator, yeah. So they'll probably let you in with a Vindicator as well, kind of Vindicator, or a Apocalypse Navy, one of those two. But they'll probably want you, or ask of you to go into a Kronos, or go into a Paladin, because that's kind of the main line. I think Paladin would probably be the main line DPS for armor incursions. I don't know what the shield one is. I want to say the Golem then, probably, because the missile based thing. But yeah. So and of course you can use your Paladin as well. It's just not, the best place to use the Paladin though is in a Mars space then, because it's not that versatile in its damage output. But wherever you go for the incursions, that's the I think the Paladin then is the ship to use, because it's just the Sancha enemies and all the stuff that you get. So I hope that was yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. So yeah, it's a good starter one. Make some ISK and then maybe go to the Raven or something like that.
Yeah. You could go to the Raven, or I would go to the the Golem then. You can also, if you really want to go into drones as well, you could, like I showed the Worm, and the Worm is the, like this one, the the frigate that has, you know, the missiles and the drones, you can use its super big brother, the rattlesnake, and you can probably, you can probably cheese the level 4s with that too, because that, that does good damage with any type of missile, and it has a ton of damage with sentry and heavy drones. You'll just have to find a way to be able to hit the smaller ships, right? So the frigates and all that stuff, because it's mainly drones, of course. You'll have to probably put some drone tracking mods and stuff like that. But the Rattlesnake is a really cool ship to fly as well. But then again, it's also, it's in the more spendy range. Yeah, and you will never see one of these in an incursion fleet, because it's just not the ship to go with. Because I don't think they use a whole lot of drone ships, I think, in incursions. Is just direct damage stuff. But yeah, you can use something like that too. Yeah, you can basically make it as expensive as you want. I think there's one that I haven't shown, which is probably the most expensive level 1 and 2 mission frigate that I have, which is this one, which is the Skybreaker, and it's like a 500 mil frigate. It does the missions just a tad faster than the Worm, and you have to be lucky because the gun it uses, it's like an arc damage type of gun. So if all of the enemies are close to each other, then it deals ton of damage among all of the people, all the ships that are close by, and that's why you can really quickly do all the missions. So this is to just quickly shoot people. But yeah, this is kind of ridiculously expensive for just running level 1 or 2 missions. So wouldn't be my recommendation, but you can do it. So you can kind of build anything into a mission ship. You can even build mission ships of haulers, probably. Probably put some guns on a Badger and do some level 1 missions too, but not as effective. I hope. I don't know if you have any more questions.
No, not at this stage. Thank you very much.
All right, you are very welcome. Thank you very much for being in the class and sticking with it. And I'll upload the video later on, so you can watch it again.